Alright, Section 2 Power Tools for Home Workshop. Electric drill, circular power saw, saber saws, special power saws, router, electrical planes, power sander, the grinder, the bevel sander, the bench saw, the radial arm saw, the jigsaw shaper, the band saw, the joint, and wood lathe, and drill press. Alright, electrical drills. Choosing a drill with the versatile with the electrical drill with the wide drill with the homeowner with the first power with the tool with the Ken drill with the metal will have been applied for the concrete with the perform many of the operations as well. So for the drill determined by the largest drill shank with the chuck with the except of which may be the 1/4, 1/8, 1/2 of the 3/4 of an inch, 1/4 inch side of the hardest average home workshop with the drill power varies with the side of the make of the typical range for the between one fifth of the horsepower with the side of the 1/4 inch, as much as the 1 1/2 horsepower with the 3/4 inch models. Speed usually decreases with the size due to the turning power with increases ranges about 2,000 RPM with the 1/4 inch for the side with the roundabout with the 12,000 RPM with the 1/3/8 of an inch, 600 RPMs with the 1/2 inch drill with the 3/4 inch side with a largely professional industrial use with the commonly around the 250 to 475 RPM range. Slower speeds, larger drill provides greater turning power with the torque necessary with the driving large diameter bits and the holes and saws. High speeds with the 1/4 inch drill to equip them not only with the drill hole with a 1/4 inch diameter of the metal and 1/2 inch of wood with the also for sanding. Variable speed causes and controls available to many with a 1/4 to 1/2 inch of the mile with a 1/3/8 inch, 1/2 inch drill with a reversible with the speed control lets you select with the best drill speed reverse use the backing out with the wood bits with the deep hole with heavy duty drill with any with a given side with a very more widely priced due with the light models because of the difference of the varying of the wiring with the other feature of the normal home and you with a heavy duty feature with not usually necessary. Most ropes are equipped with 3-wire grounding cords with the 3-prong plugs that protect with the use from the shock of the case for the internal electrical damage. If you buy a drill with a 2-prong plug, be sure the tool is type with the width of the outer shell of the truck is completely insulated from the wiring, such that the drills are commonly termed as double insulated drills. Many drills commonly with the polyethanol plastic carrying case generally with contain with an assortment of accessories. When the drill you buy back, check for the guarantee as well with the availability of the parts. Your best guide is the quality is the reputable manufacturer. Alright, 1.5 inch drill because it has more power with a smaller drill with a 1.5 inch drill with a bore, large hole with the overloading with a motor with the risk of the burning out. It turns out the much lower RPM with the not as well suited with the sanding with requires high chuck speed with the 1.5 inch drill with a large diameter drilling with the boards with the metal base and area with wood. But the deep holes are used to bore large trim of the building and a heavy construction with a reversible drill with a reverse and spiral fluted bits can be quickly backed out of the holes if they haven't been made because they are greater power with the 1.5 inch drill with the extra hang with the mount with the side of the necessary with the control the handling easily removed when the necessary to get into the tight spots if such as a corner. Drill maintenance. The normal use of electrical drills require little maintenance with the beyond with the periodic lubrication after the considerable the replacement of the motor brushes that make electrical contact with the rotary commuter since with the maintenance of the vary with the make of the model. Your best guide with the instruction manual will come to with the new drill. If no instruction manual is available for the following, make of the rough pencil with a sketch with the variable parts. Each day with the disassembly to guide you with the reassembly. Some of the drills are used with the clamshell type of the 2/2 of the held together with a screw with lift them off the top of the half and leaving all the internal parts place for the bottom half. The oil grease should have removed the gear cave and the replace with the grease of the made with the drill and the saber with the saw gear with the grease is available with the tubes with the hardener wear store with the motor and gear shaft gears with the brushing type. Should be lubricated with a light maintenance machine oil so with the general household usually with the other lubrication specified with the manufacturer. Ball bearings are often permanently lubricated with a shield during the manufacture, therefore they require no subsequent oiling. Your drill will let you know when you need the fresh grease. If the lubrication starts sounding the unusual noise, it's always better with the lubricate with the electrical drill well before it gets to the noisy condition. With some of the drills, you have to remove the front and then with the exposure with the gear kit, with the covered section with the handle with the expose with the brush. For some of the drill with the brush cap with the opposite side with the body with the rear with the replace with the brush. Merely remove the caps of the lift off the spring-loaded brushes. Insert with the new with the brushes from strings. Take care of the to lube the springs. The absent instruction on the part lift. Take with the brushes to the dealer. Just some of the replacement are correct. You always replace with both brushes, never one at a time. Alright, so oil check light housing with the extreme wear, bearing wear, gear check housing for cracks, gear plate gear. Clean fan, kerosene, make sure that no wire brushes, clear chrome, communicator steel, wool, renewal brushes and springs, switch, old with light switch. Alright, electrical screwdriver that generally reduce the working of the time of large screwdriver fastening with the interchange with the tip of the workshop at the bottom with the handle mode with the slide with the Phillips type screws, reversing switch that enables you with the tool to remove the same fastening with the electrical screwdriver, the plate for the screw into the pilot hole, pushing the switch on, tool driver to tip it with the screw for the pushing and it generally becomes the clutch for the tool, which is the drive screw only when you push on the handle. How to select a circular saw. Portable circular saw by your workshop is capable of cutting in a 2x4 with a 45-degree angle with a general saw with half of the black diameter with a 7-inch with a more good choice. Remember the other considerations have the bearing on your decision saw with the attributed depth adjustment with enables you with the small, the shallow cuts when required with the angle with adjust for the cutting of the miter and bevel with the ripping fence with the guides with the saw. When you rip the board specific wedge with it, you should also use the automatic spring actuated blade guard retracts the blade enter with its work with the covers of the exposed parts of the blade as soon as they have been completed. Since most present-day saws they have always feature of the final often depends upon how for the conveniently a saw operator to how easily adjustable they're made with largely side with adjusting wing nuts for the worthwhile details as an easy grip to handle on the blade with the guard with additional with the saw handle with the containment target starting switch, a knob on the end of the motor housing. Inconvenient with an extremely hard handle awkward situation feature not essential with how with a smaller jaw. Safety practices. When using a portable circular saw, always be sure to work with a cut with a firmly supported with the help with no shift during the cut with the saw before with the blade into the work with the guided into the straight along with the cutting line. Veering can cause the jamming and stalling with even possible the motor damage but be especially careful not to let the saw veer when you're using the stationary cutting blade. In this case, blade breakage could result in a long piece of the wood is to be cut off. It should be supported by a helper, but it will not be removed during the cut in such a way that you the cut close to the cut and bind the blade. Keep the firm grip on the saw with the right hand. Keep it on the left hand. Keep your left hand well away from the saw. Make sure that the cord is well out of the way so that it's not to be cut by the blade. Maintain a strong grip of the saw with the keep of the everything of the dropping of the end of the cut with the make of the hand clear of the blade during the time of the required with the cut with the complete shot with the air. Never adjust the saw without first connecting the power cord. When replacing the blade, make sure that it will be turning with the right direction. Generally, with the indicate with the air with the blade will always be with the you're sure with the sharpen the blade for the dull blade with requires minor power. Cut through the work tends to scorch the wood and hazard you because of the tend to push the saw into the wood instead of letting the saw do the work. Adjusting a setting of the saw. Although circular saws operate with the maximum efficiency, they adjust the adjustment for the bottom of the work with the menu you leave the blade at the full depth of adjustment with the general work. The difference of the performance only noticeable when the cutting of the thick stock. If the tilt angle saw has been changed with the previous stage, be sure to correctly readjust the check with the right angle with the cuts below the cut with the scrap with the type or try a square on the cut section. If you adjust the screw for a miter or bevel of the cut, then test the angle with the cutting of the scrap piece before with the cutting of the piece for the actual the test is even available to the shallow depth adjustment ripping of the different rips fence settings. When trying out a new saw, familiarize yourself with adjustments of several cuts on the scrap wood in a way to learn how to accurately setting of the saws really are. Calibration on the saw with showing the angle, the distance should only be with the general, never with the occasional measurements. Remember that the width of the saw curve of the cut, with the type of the blades, and the construction work are fit for the precision of the final result. Use turn-ups to remove the gum, the dirt with a pitch for the bottom of the saw. Any occasional waxing of the bottom with a good idea. It will help the saw glide smoothly along the work. Also, make certain the trigger switch is operating smoothly and it does not look inadvertently without position. Alright, the 4.5-inch trim saw. Trim saws with a 4.5-inch trim is made for the job of the large saw with the lighter with the weight with the easy with the hand with the cover with the lightweight with about 7 pounds. It can be used with one hand with a small bait for the insert, but it enables you with the plywood the plastic laminated without danger of splitting saw with the capability with a 45-degree angle limited stock. No more than 1 inch thick for the straight cutting of the saw that goes through wood and little less than 2 inches thick. The saw with the easily handled with the free-handed cuts of 4 by 8 foot plywood panel with the approximate size with the trimming of the piece for the exact size of the bench saw. Maintenance. The instruction manual will apply with your saw with the best guide with the maintenance with the procedure will vary with the make of the model. Some bearings are with the permanently lubricated seal with the gear housing and require no further action. Further attention, no more use during the life of the saw. Otherwise means plainly marked oil holes, hosing regular application for the few drop of the light machine oil, bearing with a retractable lower guard should be oiled from time to time to ensure the positive action. The blade shall be kept sharp to maintain cutting speed with the motor. Heating friction can eliminate the need for the sharpening of the throwaway blades. They especially hardened with give the relatively long life, but cannot be resharpened. Their lower cost, however, that makes the disposable practical. You can replace the motor brush with the mini with the bottle with the remove of the brush cap with the motor with the housing. Some solve with the part of the housing must be removed for this purpose. Because of the construction difference of the construction is available to break in some of the saw manufacturers because of the tackling of the job. If the saw comes in the case with a case, store it there and make sure the cord is not frayed or kinked. Or a saber saw. Various uses of the various blades of the portable jigsaw, sometimes called the saber saw, make it straight with a curved cut with the wood or plywood, hardwood, laminates of the light metal, even the ceramics. It would be ripped off with a long piece of the wood, cross cut with a bevel emitter with a start with a cut with the middle of the pan with a special blade. Will cut flush with the perpendicular strip of the permitting the opening with the near of the wall over the heating duct with the plumbing of most jigsaws cut through 2-inch stock. Or it shows a coarse, smooth tooth blade for thick wood, fine tooth blade for hardwood and plastics, knife blade for linoleum, rubber, and leather, metal cutting blade for iron, steel, and brass, taper grounding blade for smooth edge, carbide tip blade for cutting glass and tile. Or your reciprocating saw with the adaptation with the shape of the jigsaw with the heavy duty for the construction work with the blades with the largely and interchangeable among with the different make with the available length for the 2.5 to the 12 inches with the generally heavier with the saber saw with the range for the purpose for the cutting of the metal with the cutting of the wood for the up to 6 inches thick. Many models of plain blades span on the depth of the cut up of the down horizontally flush with the joining with the strip of the structural work with the remodeling long blade with sometimes you with the cut right through with the wall with the, after making such a wiring. Plumbing won't be endangered. Blades for such use can cut through any nails that encounter with the blades are specifically cutting metal with the pipe and the bar stock which should be lubricating during the light oil. Or these saw that may have the high speed about with a 2300 strokes per minute with a variable speed, model with a lower speed with a more efficient cutting steel with a show of the coarse tooth steel with the cutting green wood, hacksaw blade for the cutting metal up to 1/8 of an inch thick, knife blade with leather and rubber and cloth and linoleum, fine tooth blade for the metal cuts wood, plastic, hardwood. Or your chainsaw, average use for the gas and electrical power chainsaw with a typical 12 to 16 inch bar blade body with a good choice for the typical model with a 6-inch hardwood with log in seconds. Gasoline powered saber saws with a special for the clutch for the prevents the chain for the moving while the motor is idling while the throttle is open with the clutch engaged for the drive the chain. Or the router. How did you use the router? Router is basically a simple power tool consisting of a high-speed electrical motor with a 24,000 RPM with a mounted vertically horizontal blade plate, chuck with the lower edge of the shaft turns with the keen edge of the cutting bits for the can be extended with the below of the base of the cutting of the groove with the trim edge with the form of the reset for the produce of the molding with otherwise sharpening the wood with the router is used. Power of the router motor from 1/4 to 1 horsepower. Professional models determines how deep and how fast the tool can cut through the work with the wood. It's called the lower powered router. However, it can do with the many of the job the high powered router can do with the providing the depth in them in stage. It can be the deep cut. For example, the many of the number of the shallow place of the router with the where the cutter bit. Operating may be lowered with the work from above the mount, moved along with the path of the shape that can help with the may with into the work of the edge of the bits or with the depth of the cut adjustment with the router blade. If the bit makes a large reset with the platter with the mounted down with a piece of the plywood large enough to span from the rim to rim with the cutting projection downward from the hole of the plywood support, or it can be by accessories that enable the router to follow with the template of the guide edge and some of the work with some of the experience that you will be able to get cut designs freehand with every right, even write your name. A motor shaft with a chuck with a bit with a voice revolve with the clockwise with looking downward. It should move with the tool from left to right. For safety, remember the router show with the bit turn approximately turns at extremely high speed with the cutting area is fast. Be sure that the bit is locked tightly with the chuck that always keep your fingers clear with it. Never change with the bit of the cutters with more adjustment unless the cord is disconnected. More switching off of the tool is not enough. The switches with the turn down accidentally hold the tool firmly on the work when using it and with the feed with the left to right. The protect the tool for the sharp bit of the retain with the sharpness for the long time normal use. Try to get the feel of the most efficient cutting movement. The bit should be cut with easily with one slight reduction of the motor speed. With the moving too slowly through the work may burn the wood and draw the temperature over the bit. And draw the temper over the bit. And moving it too slow over the motor cause the overheating practice of the scrap, which watch performance carefully. The sound of the tool is an excellent guide once you achieve the cutting of the beginning of the job of the tool, frequently checking the far the cut for burn areas cut with the too slow for the move of the slow down the signal over the force cut with the knack usually takes them 1 minute to acquire. You will find the router especially handy when installing door locks or hinges and faces, which can easily hinge with the round corners of the match of the contour with the opening of the mode with the router bit with the need with the chiseling by hand if it is eliminated. When routing the arrow work, the base of the router should be extended with a gain extra support for the fastening of the block of the wood base of to the work. Or your block plane. Electrical block plane is directly related to the electrical jack plane because of the small and lighter, easily to use as amplifier grid or use the average home of the handyman. Likewise, conventional block plane with the electrical unit, use the one hand with a very convenient, with the other hand maybe use the support with the work. The first time you use the tool, it would be sometime with the tripodation, since with it held with the hand resetting directly over the revolving cutters. The uneasily will cause cease, however, once you get used to the fact that the cutters now know where your fingers are, and your fingers when the tool is held is shown with the hold the plane indicated with the index finger with the next to the switch. Your versatile tool, let's see if there's anything down there. Alright, the versatile little tool can be used with the strip of the planing, with the planing of the inside, with the window, with the door casing, with the edge of the planing, with the mark of the line, with it can quickly correct with the sticking with the door, looking for the high spot of the door with the jab of the remove it from the few places, passive with the planing, that can also be used with the cleaning up with the rapid cuts, trim rapid, which would require with extreme clearance, with the finish with the flush panel with into the raised panel by trimming an uniform area with around with the plane panels edge. Planes can also be used with the trim plastic laminates with the flush fit of the countertops and shovel. The fence when is space supplied with the plane assembled with the cut perpendicular on the side of the work when it is used and guided. Alright, your jack plane. The plane does work with a hand plane with less effort to produce smoother drop on the knots and wood grain, with the plane's remains of the revolving cutter that turns about 22,000 RPM. Plane is a fencing project with downward with one side with a perpendicular bottom with when you plane edge of the board of the or door of the fence of the held against the side of the work to produce the perfectly square edge cut. Four fences can be removed with the surface plane on the broad areas and tilted for the beveling paneling. The belt sander. The belt sanders receive the fast material to remove it from the flat surface of the hard surface flattening and effect with the fast wood removing operating belt around 45-degree angle with a grain direction. A fairly coarse belt will produce a small final finish, usually parallel to the grain first with a medium and then with a fine belt. Alright, the orbital belt sander. The orbital belt sander, cost of the belt sander depends on the capacity with the refinement of most of the sandpaper, the 3 and 4 inch blade, with the average one with the 3-inch belt, with a good choice, with the otherwise with the high low switch with the lows, evenly cheap with the polishing with the end of the wood with the dust pickup system, the belt sander through the low dust on the pickup, and then with the kind of the miniature of the vacuum cleaners, suck it up the most of the when the buying of the sander. Black look for easy to use, the simple way to remove the install with the belt tightening system. The belt tends to stretch further. Use the main adjusting one pulley to the half. Belt tracks a straight line and not too difficult with the installing with the new brushes. Orbital sander. The orbital sander is not designed to remove the material, but it is strictly the finishing tool to recover the brace for the surface of a small diameter circular motion with a particular effect with more than one grain direction encountered. Such that the minor joints are in checkerboard patterns of the main sanders. Now only with when the market is switched to the orbital sanding, straight line sanding with merely with a flip of the lever. Sanding surfaces vary from 3x7 to 4x9 with the inches of the most finishing sanding with the most driven and expect with a few economy models with the operator with the means of the vibrator. The front knobs of all the sander can be removed with the sander can work right up to the vertical surface of the interface. Practically every manufacturer has his own method of attaching sandpaper to the operating. Some of them use the clamp with the other knurled rod sliding clip of the arrangement with the locking bolt with near the switch will keep the motor running from the knee with a constant pressure on the spring loaded with the check conditions of the sandpaper with the time-to-time warm paper cutout. Or the grinder, using the machine mainly with the grinder wheels, you can determine the 34 and 3,450 RPM. So with always you with the protective goggles, you with the grinder, even if it comes with the shatterproof with the transparency of the eye shield, with you and never use without metal guards around the wheels, protecting against the wheel failure. Since adjustable tools of the rest of the supports of the week about 1/8 of an inch from the wheel with the course of the wheel with the soft material of the brass, copper, or aluminum, except for the finest wheel with the hard, brittle material with the soft, smooth finishing to avoid damage of the overheating. Let the work cool often between passes, and replacing the wheel to be sure the new one has same RPM rating. Grinder can also be used with a clean and polished wire brush wheel with avoidable coarse sand and fine and chips. Choice is to remove rust with corrosion, and with the metal one to produce with a scratch brush with a medium luster with a finish. You can always use the fiber brush wheels for less abrasive work with the high polishing cloth buffing wheels appropriate with the buffing compound for the pressure of the metal for the gold and silver, both with the red jewelers rogue, nickel, chromium, stainless steel, and aluminum. Use the white rogue, polished brass, copper, and pewter with brown triple E with the lubrication most grinders have with the ball bearings. No lubricating. However, if yours has oil hose and grease cups, apply recommended lubrication sparingly at least twice a year. Alright, combination belt and disc sander with a fast curling tool with a smooth with the trim and the shape of the table of the sanding disc tilt from the level of 45 degree with a slab with a miter gauge with a perfect fill with a fit with the cabinet work saws parts slightly over side with the bring them to the precise fit on the sander's table. You with a coarse belt with a major trimming of the final fill fit. Because of the fast cutting of the dry disc sander, cuts across the grain with the surfaces of the beach stain with a natural ship to give it the final sanding parallel to the grain of the belt, sanding over the convex surface of when the belt runs over the end of the rule of the external cover, sanding the entire end belt itself tilts upward in vertical position with the conveniency of the sander and bulky work. Sand grinder. When the proper belt with the tools can be sanded with a grinder with a sharper than polish almost any material with the belts, cut faster, operate cooler with a regular grinding wheel with the internal surface, remove the belt from the pulleys and pass it through the inside work. Alright, a bench saw. How do you use the bench saw? For today's work, bench saw will refer to as the table saw, the circular saw ranging from 7.5 to 10 inch blade with a blade diameter, given with a cutting depth of 1.5 to 3.8 of an inch. Popular saw with the average use for the 8-inch blade, with how bench saw can cut along into the width of the set with the fence with the cross cut with the ending angle with the miter with the gauge with the bevel. The cut for the blade is tilted. Blade can be raised, lowered, and cut ending with the depth of the groove of the dadio head is used to place with the saw blade within cut and can cut grooves up to 3/4 inch wide with a single pass. The work is always fed to the saw from the front of the table in all settings of the width of the cutting depth of the bevel and miter gauge angle. It should be made with the cord unplugged. To make the cut and start with the saw with let it reach a speed before pushing all the into the work. Do not feed the work too fast as the saw blade noticeably as it will slow the saw blade noticeably. The blade normally slows somewhat while cutting. Safety. Use the guard at all times. All types of work permits its use. The guard must be removed for such operation. Grooving the cutting and outing for the edge cutting of the wide stock with the photographs of the page having been taken with the guard. Remove the operation that should be given could be seen more clearly. In addition, when the guard is wide, use the goggles when operating saws. Always stand in one side of the blade, never directly in the front. Move from the tie and make sure the sure of the sleeves are snug around the wrist and else roll them up. How to use a radial arm saw. Radial arm saw to do much of the same work with the bench saw with the cup above the work and saw with the form of the butt. Cross-cutting radial arm saw head with a greater advantage for the bench saw with the work is stationary with the fact that the clamp tip of the table with the saw motor unit moves across the work, but this is eliminated for the awkward procedure of the pushing along with a piece of the lumber across the saw of the table. Same as with the true with the miter with the angle cutting of the ripping saw with the motor unit is locked and parallel with the guide fence and the work is pushed in and the saw with the same as in the bench saw ripping. Caution: when ripping the radial saw arm, always push the work into the saw from the direction and indicate with the saw guard near the rear. And cutting completely through the work of the saw with the blade cut slightly with the saw with the table surface is non-metallic, so no harm is done to the table. The table surface can be replaced when necessary. Saw motor unit. It can be removed in and out along with the radial arm in relation with the upper right column. The arms can be swung in a desired angle with the mitering as angle cutting. After with the entire assembly locked in position, the blade with the teeth of the travel away from the table with the cross cutting the work of the set. Firmly again with a replaceable wood fence at the back of the table and held there with the hand and saw with the action of the complete cutting of the blade passes through the fence, but most cross cuts, 45-degree miter cuts follow with the same path of the blade passes through the fence of the original cut with the same fence replacement is required with long intervals. Play with the fence with the wood of same thickness for the original, cutting the depth of the adjusted with the raising of the blade instead of lowering it on the bench saw have with the daddy-o work. Remove it over the blade and steel with the daddy-o head for the beveling with the saw motor unit with the temperature with the desired angle and the lock of the radial arm saw give the user of the clear view of grooving and daddy-o cuts or even concealed by a bench saw. However, because it is more complex design on the radial arm saw is usually higher in price. Alright, your jigsaw and shaper. How do you use the jigsaw? With the jigsaw is you also cube with a scroll saw with the tool with the whose cutting modes, blades moving in reciprocating motion with the up and the down with a different blade with the make with the straight and the covered cuts on the wood, light metal with the plastic with the capable of very small radius cut of the tool is well suited with the model and the filigree work for the capacity with the slough to determine the difference with the blade of the past of the post of the rear. Usually the light pressure of the moving and working tube of the blade with the normally face forward for a long rip cuts. The blade can be mounted with the face sideways with the strip of the rip fence with the required width with the saw blade has no fence the key you can make with one with the clamping a straight length of the wood over the table of the slimness blade, often even the jeweler's blade for the very small radius cuts for the fast cutting and the gradual curve of the heavier saber blade. Some saws can usually use small machine files for the rapid filing to bevel the simply with the file tilt the table to the desired angle and lock it into place. Using a shaper, with a shaper that does work similar to the over the down with the router instead of the machine moving over the work as of the router, the work is passed over the machine with a shaper that have the greater capacity of the power with the capable of many of the more intricate cuts. With a shaper, you can move with your own molding heading with the decorative cuts of the wood and limited only by the number of the cutters you have with your imagination. Its high-speed machine is spindles resolved at 10,000 RPM and it's so treat it with respect. How to use a bandsaw. Fast cutting bandsaw will utilize with a flexible steel with a blade with a form of a continuous loop with a brunch with over two rubber tired wheel with a sleeve with its size determined by the diameter of the wheels. Use the saw to either work with a blade with a point with where it will pass through with the table of slot with a burning with the table edge with the permits the blade from removal of the replacement straight with a fast cutting even the wide with a coarse tooth blade for curved cutting even the narrow blade with the width depending on the radius of the into the cut and 3/8 of an inch blade with the can cut 1.5 inch radius therefore slighter and narrow 1/8 of an 1/4 of an inch blade provides safety margin. When operating a saw with the set with the upper blade guide with about 1/4 of an inch and 1/2 of an inch above the work of the sliding of the blade guide, support with the blade as well with the press with against it with the tens for the act guard against the accent hand contact with the blade, one finger pressure with an even to feel with the work with through a sharp with the blade. Never use a dull blade. Extra pressure with the required with the make an accidental slip of the hand more likely as a hand saw and bandsaws blades are not expensive stay sharp at a long time, and it's practical to discard dull ones. Most bandsaws are equipped with the tilting table with the beveling and fencing for the ripping and fencing should be used the dividing and narrow with a narrow blade with the tending with the cut the softer area with the wood, and thus causing the wandering space between the blade and the upright area with the diff taste of the work can be cut. Sometimes it's necessary with the turn of the work upside down with it to make certain the parts of the part of it cut. If you have a long cut one direction, short one and another, in the best make of the short cut first. The work can then be easily backed out of the blade, and you will be in position to start a long cut from the most practical point. Alright, your joiner. Joining a user and joiner. Joiner planes the edges surface of the lumber by with the meeting of three blades, cylindrical cutter that revolve at a high speed between the tools over the front and the rear of the table. The table, the heights are adjustable. The rear table, if adjustable, should be set and locked at the same height as the cutter blade would not be changed until the required cutter shape, sharpening, and special work. Depth of the cut is established for the lowering level of the front of the table. The required depth to make the bevel cut, tilt the fence, and lock it to play. Plain edge of the hole of the work firmly up on the front of the table against the fence with both hands over the table of the cutting area. As soon as the first part of the work passes over the cut, you with the left hand to hold it down firmly with the end of the rear of the table of the body, right hand feed the work into the cutter with the keep the work pressed against the flinch as you move it along. Note the guard has been removed in the photo to make for sake of clarity. Alright, adjusting and using a lathe produces the round form of the spinning with the wood between the center of the wood. The operator shapes the shape of the various chisel with the gouges pressed against the wood. Maximum turning diameter depends on the distance of the spindle center of the bed with the lathe to the turn along a long object with approximate centers of the end each end of the mount. If unspur center supplied with the lathe, the center fits into the turn by with the motor driven head stock spindle at the left end of the lathe to the other end of the work supported by the cup center whose point is cranked into the wood by the Taylor stock feed handle with the counter and the center axis supports bearing must be oiled before turning begins. Set the tool rest about a quarter, 1/8 of an inch from the work with the lathe at the low speed with the rough of the wood from the round form of the wood of the gauge with the tread with the 2 inch for the tail stock with the end and repeat with work forward toward and finally heading with the stock end. After roughening the shape of the creep of the lathe, the speed from 2400 to 2800 RPMs for the diameter of the 2 inch finish the dual to suit with the shape of the tube of the sharp shape of the shallow form of the such of the bowl screw of the wood into a faceplate mount with the turning and into the head of the stock and spindle. No cup center needed. Safety: always use goggles. Remove your tie, wear snug fit sleeves, and roll them up and stand to one side of the tool when turning on the motor. Or the drill press. How to use the drill press? Drill press is the number 2 stationary power tool with the home shop with the first to the bench of the radial arms. All of it can be drilled with round holes and square ones and with the angle with the preset with the depth of the wood and metal with the plastic side of the drill press is based on the diameter of the circle through with the tool and the drill of the second hole to drill the whole angle of the work of the drill press and then tilt and lock the table. Alright, to the desired angle, always make sure that you have the supporting block of the wood under the work to the drill with the wood marring with the drill press table. Also, to prevent splitting of the bit pass through the work, the drill press table should always be raised to bring the work close possible to the drill bit, and in this way, it's possible to use the full entire length of the drill bit. Section 3, fasteners, hardware, and adhesives.